computer. Okay, awesome. So what I'm going to show you all tonight is about a moving average. A lot of times trades come in, and when they come in, okay, awesome, they're in. So what happens is when the trades come in through Tradera, you know, we have about a 70 to 75% win rate. So what I want to show you guys tonight is how to increase your win rate with the copy and paste with Tradera. Okay, and so with that win rate, it should increase your win rate if you follow the rules. If you follow the rules, now system means save yourself time, energy, and money. So if you follow the rules, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to make it so much easier for you. Okay, so what I've done is I pulled up the chart EUR USD, which is euro, the euro dollar. Now, right now, we're on the hour chart. And so what I like to do is what we call a top-down analysis. A top-down analysis. I like to look at price and see where price is and see where price is going. I like to see where, you know, what price is doing on a bigger scale. So now, this is like being up in an airplane and you're about 45,000 or, you know, 30,000 feet up in the air. And you have an aerial view of what's going on. So your daily is going to give you that sky view. So when you look at your sky view, you can look at it and give a quick analysis of it. That's why we call it a top-down analysis. We saw that price came down here, went back up. We saw that it came back, and it hit this area here a few times. So if I wanted to draw a place that I saw where price hits all the time, I can look right here. In the past, came up here, played around a little bit, hit here, hit here, hit here. And I can say, okay, that's the low part. And I don't really include the wicks, but I can say, you know, that's the lowest place on the daily where price has been. Now, what I like to do is I like to change my color. On the daily, I like to put a magenta color. And I'm going to show you why when we go down to lower time frames. So when we get to that part, I'll show you exactly why I do it. So then I look and I say, okay, you know, price was up here. I like it that price was up there, but that's just a little too far, a little too far back. So I don't want to go back quite that far, because when I look at this, right at the highest point, that was back in March. This is now May 10th. So what I want to do is I want to find something a little bit closer. I know price came here, came here, came here. So if I wanted to draw a trend line, and if I'm moving too fast for some of you, that's because you haven't been in the back office and you haven't went through the training. So what I like to do is show you, because you went through the training, the basics of knowing what support is, what resistance is, what a trend line. Now I'm showing you how all of that fits together. So you've got the pieces to the puzzle. I understand what support is. Support is like the floor. It's the bottom. It's where prices hit so many times and rejected off of that area. Then it took off to the upside. And then when it gets to the upside, it has a ceiling or a cap there or a resistance. And then it hits that resistance so many times before it comes back down or before price breaks through the resistance. And when I'm talking price, I'm talking the candles, I'm talking candles. And so if I were to draw my trend line, I want to draw my trend line so it touches at least 2 points, 2 to 3 points. So here we see between the daily low and where it touches my second position, my second portion on the trend line, it touched here first, touched here second. So price is already between my daily low and my trend line, so that I know price now is somewhere in between here. So all I'm doing really is trapping my trade, right? So I saw right here that price, you know, this was like the highest it's been. Let's look at this date. So we're on May 10th. This was May 1st, right? So I want to go back. I want to go and say, okay, now that's the first, that was the highest that it went for the whole month of May. So that's going to be my high. That's going to be my high. So now I can move my trend line all the way from here down to here. I want price now to operate between here and here. And you can put it at the base of at the base where the wick is, but I don't like to use the wick too much when I'm doing this, because if I'm going to ride this back down, I don't ride it to the wick, I ride it to the base of the candle. Okay, so if I'm going to ride price back down, I ride it to the base of the candle. So now I can bring my I can actually bring my trend line in some, and I can kind of trap this trade a little bit more. So I can see one or two things. Price can break through my trend line, pull back, and then complete going up to the upside. But I'm on the daily, so I'm not trying to make any decisions from there, because it's just like you're in a plane. You have not yet landed. You're not at the gate, so you can't pick up your luggage. You know, you can't walk out and have somebody pick you up because you're in an aerial view, okay? So I just want to kind of see where price is. And I also color this trend line the same color so that I know that all my markups right now are on my daily chart, okay? And so now I want to go down to my 4-hour chart, because now I want to drop this plane down. We're getting closer to landing. So now we're going from a 45 or just say 30,000 feet high. Now we're getting down to a lower position. So I want to see now on the 4-hour chart exactly what is happening. I can see on the 4-hour, it touched here, and then again it touched here. And now I see a buy candle right there. I see a buy candle, but I don't want to make any decisions off of that because I'm still on a high time frame, right? So now I want to say, okay, what is my lowest low and my highest high on my 4-hour time frame? Price came all the way down here, and then it took off and bounced up here, okay? It came all the way from up here, and then it bounced back up here. So that's my high on my 4-hour right here. And I'm going to change that color because I like my color to be a blue, like a light blue color. Now, so when I get down to my lowest time frame, what's going to happen is I'm going to be able to see on my lowest time frame all of my trend lines, my support and resistance on my different time zones. And I like that because it lets me know where price is in relation to all the time frames, even when I get on a smaller time frame. Okay, so I'm doing what we call a top-down analysis for some of you that just jumped on. Okay, so now I've got my high of the day for my 4-hour, and then when I look, I see this long wick. So if price were to come back down here, I wouldn't put my take profit all the way down here. I wouldn't even put it below this wick, simply because this wick was just a collection of money, and I won't get into that, how the banks do it. So that's just a collection of money. So what I like to do is I like to ride it at the base of that candle. So I'll put me another trend line, and I'll know that this is my 4-hour time. This is my 4-hour resistance support right here. I'm sorry, support. And so I'm going to put it right at the base of that candle. And if I go back and look in the past, I can see where price has been kind of hanging around that area, right? So I've got my 4-hour, I've got my daily, and now what I want to do is I want to go down to my 1-hour chart, because now I want to see what price is doing on the hour. So let's go down to let's take this plane down to about 10,000 feet in the air, and we're going to see exactly where price is. So I'm going down to my hour, and now I want to see where price is in relation to my bigger time zones. So I'm going to squeeze in a little bit. As you can see, my daily trend line is still in effect. I can still see my daily resistance up here. I can see my daily support. I can still see my 4-hour. My 4-hour is showing me it peaked through there a little bit, and then on my 1-hour, it's showing that hey, yeah, it peaked through there a little bit, but it's coming back down. But I still don't want to make a decision about where I'm getting in this trade at, because the hour chart is still we're 10,000 feet in the air. So we don't want to make a decision right now about getting into this trade. Now I can say this, I can draw me another trend line, and I can say, okay, price hit here and it hit here. So there's 2 places that it hit. So now I'm trapping my trade, and I'm gonna actually label this yellow, because on my 1-hour time frame, I like the yellow support and resistance and the trend line to be the same. So now I see where my 4-hour is up here and my 4-hour down here. But when I get to my hour chart, I'm looking, and guess what? Price is about the same between my daily. So what we're looking at, guys, we're not looking so much at lines, we're looking at zones. So I can say that price actually fluctuates. If it were to come back down, it's going to hit somewhere in this zone. Not so much a line, but a zone. So it'll hit into this zone right here if it decides to come back down to this area. So what we're doing is we're trapping this trade. As you can see, price is just inside this little area right here, okay? And so when I look at my high of the day on the 1 hour, I look at my 4 hour and I see my 1 hour and my 4 hour are about the same. So I don't even need to put a yellow line there to show that, hey, this is where my hour is, because my 4 hour and my hour somewhat matches each other as far as the low and the high, because this is the area that I'm focused on right now. So now what I'd like to do is, excuse me, I want to now see where I want to enter at. You know, this is now we're going to the, we're landing, and we're at the gate, and we're getting ready to unload, and we're getting ready to go get our luggage. So now, since my 4 hour and my hour are pretty much the same, I want to go down to my 15-minute to kind of see where do I enter this trade at. And as you can see, your trade got trapped. Your trade got trapped right in here. And so I can look at this two ways. Let me color this in right here. I can say that price is going to come back in this zone and possibly, let me do it another color. Fill that in. Give me 1 second. Let me fill that in. So I can say, okay, price is going to come down back to this area. If it breaks my trend line, my hour trend line, then I know that price is going to come back and touch somewhere in this zone. I can't say that it's going to touch at the blue line. I can't say that it's going to touch at the pink line. But somewhere inside this zone, price is going to possibly touch if it breaks this trend line right here. If it breaks my daily trend line, then it's going to come back and do a pullback and then keep going to my 4 hour. So when I look at this, I can say, okay, where do I want to enter at? Now, one thing about it, guys, it's just like an airport. If I'm catching a plane from Denver, Colorado up here on this blue line, and I want to get down to Daytona Beach, Florida, I'm not going to catch a plane in the middle of the air. So right here, it touched and it did what we call a bearish, like a bearish engulfing. No, that's hold on, let me get in a little bit further. That's a black cloud cover. So it came down right here, did what we call like a black cloud cover. Price broke right here. It didn't quite break that green arrow, that green candle. Now I'm not going to get into reversal patterns, but I will tell you, you can go to this app right here. It's called Japanese Candlestick Patterns. This is a great app. There's about 10 to 12 patterns that if you learn those, it's real easy to spot. It's called Japanese Candlestick Patterns. We call it JCP for short. And if you're really serious about learning the trading game, you would go to this, you would go to that app and download that and study those. I actually did not just did it on the app itself, but I went and bought me some index cards and I colored in my candles and I learned those. And I'm telling you, if you learn that, guys, you'll be way ahead of the game. Okay, it's called Japanese Candlestick Patterns. Okay, we got a question. Thank you, Trey. So now I've trapped my trade in here, guys, and I like what I see because I'm still in midair. So what I want to see is something to this effect. Anytime that price breaks, right now it's going up. It kind of hit this trend line, went up, hit it again, and it's possibly going up. Now, what I would have to see is one or two things. To enter this trade right now, I would have to see price break this trend line and do what we call a pullback and then go down. But it would have to pass where it stopped at right here for me to get into this trade. So price would have to come down here somewhere for me to get in, because I don't want to get in right here. So what I do, my practice is I do 2 candles below that. So on that second candle red going down, I'm in that trade. Okay, I'm in that trade. That's going down, and I would ride it down to here because the 4 hour is my next take profit, because that's the only stop that I've seen, or the only resistance, I mean the only support that I've seen in this area. And if it breaks past this support right here, does a pullback, does the same thing, I would get in 2 candles after where it stopped at right here before the pullback, and I would get in 2 candles in. Then my next take profit would be down here at my daily. So that would be take profit 1 and take profit 2. And I would ride this down to here. Okay. Now, if price goes in the other direction, price goes, and this video is recorded, so you'll be able to get it on my YouTube channel. If it goes in the other direction and it breaks my 4 hour, I mean my daily resistance right here, that means price would have to come all the way up here, come through here, break this, do a pullback, and the place that it did the stop, did this and came and did the pullback, I would have to do it. I would wait for 2 candles going up, and they would have to be green. My take profit would be my 4 hour resistance. That's why we draw the support and resistance. My next take profit, where would my next take profit be at? At my daily. So if it came and passed here, my take profit 1 would be at my blue line. My take profit 2 would be at my daily line. And guys, that's how we ride trades. That's how we determine whether take profit 1 and take profit 2 is. Okay. Now, I showed you the long way around. If you want to see something easier than that, I want you to put a 2 in the chat box. Put a 2 in the chat box. As soon as you put a 2 in the chat box, we'll get going. And I'll show you such a simple, easy way. I need to see some 2s in the chat box. Let's go. I need to see some 2s in the chat box. Somebody want to see easier than what I just showed you, right? You want to look at this plane and say, okay, I want to look at it from another view. Okay, we got 30 people on here. I got about 10 2s. Where we at? Where's everybody at? Are you sleeping? Are you awake? Come on. Where's everybody? All right, awesome. We got enough 2s. Let's go. All right. All right, keep them coming. Keep them coming. Here's a 2 for the sleepers. All right, awesome. So let me show you something really, really simple, guys. Let me get rid of all of this right here, right? Let me get rid of all of this. And that's so important to know. I love it. I can read these charts, and I go to my markups. When I see that price is kind of, you know, doing something crazy, I go to all my markups, right, to see what's happening on my charts, right? So let me show you something a little bit easier, because I know half of you fell asleep. I lost half of you, and you're tired, and you're saying, oh, man, it's Sunday. You know, we had this big Sunday meal. I'm tired. I've been to church, or, well, you know, wherever you've been today, Mother's Day, hanging out with the family if you can, due to this quarantine. And you say, Doc, show me something a little easier. So let me show you something, guys, a little bit easier, right? So this is EURUSD. So let's go up here to our menu. I go to my menu, and you see this little, you see the time clock there? Right next to your menu on your MetaTrader 4, there's a little icon with the F and a plus sign, right? And it has all of these indicators. And on this indicator, I want you to go to trend. I want you to go to trend, and then I want you to go to moving average. Now, take a snapshot of this if you need to, because this is the moving average that I want you all to see. This is the moving average that I want you all to take a look at. So when a trade comes through, you'll be able to say, okay, I'm going to take that trade, I'm not going to take that trade, or I'm going to wait on that trade, okay? So what is this? This is your moving average. your moving average. And the parameters for the period is 50. The shift is 0. The method, MA method is exponential. You apply to close. And the style is aqua, because we call that like the watercolor, you know, probably not here in the US, but maybe in some parts of the US, but like Hawaii, the aqua color water. And you can make it as thick or as thin as you want to right here. This little drop down box, okay? You can make it as thick or thin as you want, okay? So now, I've got my 50 moving average on my chart. Let's look at the daily. Let's go back and do a top-down analysis now. Hold on one second. Now we can do a top-down analysis. Okay, that's all you really need to know. You don't need to worry about levels or anything like that. All you're worried about, all you're concerned about right now is just the exponential and the close, okay? So here's the deal. When I look at my chart now, I'm looking at it in a whole different light, right? I've got my 50 exponential moving average on there, and now I can look at my daily chart, and I want you to know that this is as simple as this. If I'm above my daily, my 50 moving average, I'm in a buy. If price is below, like it is down here, it's in a sell. So it's below your 50 moving average. So that means that EUR USD on the daily is in a sale. Okay? So somebody keep up with this for me. Right now, the daily is in a sale. Why is it in a sale? Even though I've got some green candles going up, Dr. Carter, I see green candles, it's doing what we call a pullback. It's just like life. You're going to be doing some things, and after a while, you know, something's going to come to snuff you out and pull you back. You're going to be doing some things, and life is going great, and something's going to pull you back. It's the same way with trading. You know, you have your higher highs and your higher lows, higher highs and higher lows. And this stuff you can learn in the back office. I'm not going to take time to teach that tonight. Okay? So on the daily, would everybody agree that this is in an overall sale? This moving average change your life, exactly. So you're looking on the daily and you're seeing that this is a sale. Okay? Let's go to the 4-hour chart. Let's go to the 4-hour chart. Voila! Can anybody tell me where price is in reference to my 50 moving average? Where's price? Is it a buy or sell? Somebody tell me in the chat box. All right, Trey, we tracking. All right, sale. So on the daily, it was a sale, and on the 4-hour, it's a sale. Am I correct? So let's go down to the hour chart. Oh, well, so now we got something a little bit different. Uh-oh, price is breaking above. Price is breaking above the 50 on the hour. So we got 2 sales, 1 buy on the hour, but I want to enter on the 15-minute. So my overall trend is a sale. The trend is your friend until it ends. Do not get caught up trying to get in these long candles like this, guys, because this candle right here was a news candle. I guarantee you on Friday with non-farm payroll, every first Friday of the month, we have what we call non-farm payroll, and that's basically the unemployment rate here in the United States. Well, now listen, you see EUR pairs went up because the unemployment rate is so bad here right now in the US. Same thing here. We had news right there. So these are what we call vector candles. Won't get into that tonight. So now let's go down to the 15-minute and see what the 15-minute is, because if it's on a sale on the daily, a sale on the 4-hour, and then it's a buy here, then I told you on the daily it was doing what? A pullback. So it's pulling back above on the hour chart right here, but yet I have a red candle right there. So let's go down to the 15-minute chart and see where we are. Wow, look at this. So on the 15-minute, it's got a green candle. On the hour, it's got a red candle. So guess what? If the company sent me a trade right now on EUR USD and said that EUR USD was a buy, I would not get into that buy. Why? Because my daily is a sell, my 4 hour is a sell, my 1 hour is doing what we call a pullback, and my 15-minute is now what? Look at what's happening. That is considered a resistance right here, because price is being resisted right at this 15-minute. So this is where you don't want to play around right here, guys. Don't get caught up in everything goes back to the water. So when it comes down, it's going to go back to the water. There was a gap there. It's filling this gap right here that broke loose. There's a gap sometimes that happens when the market opens. And if you don't know how to fill a gap, guys, don't get into these trades. I'm telling you. So when the company sends this out and they say it's a buy on EUR USD, I'm not getting into a buy, right? I'm going to wait for that sale on the 15-minute, and I'm going to wait for that sale on the hour, because I want all of these to be in agreement. Because if they're all in agreement and I jump in the sale, then I can't go wrong, because that's the trend. And the trend is my friend until it ends. Okay? So now let's look at the chart. So right here, if the company would have sent me, let's look at the hour chart. I like to look at the hour chart. Even see with the hour chart, it's doing a sell back down. It's all it's doing, guys, is just this. You see this right here? That's what we call a fake out. Came back down to here, faked out up here. This was all news. Faked out way up here, and guess what price is jumping back down to? Back under the 50. I know that because I've been trading for a long time. Now let me show you something. I like to go to the hour. This is what I do. I go to the hour chart. I do my top-down analysis on the daily, the 4 hour, to know what they are. Now, it's going to take a long time for the daily and the 4 hour to go into a buy, right? So I don't want to get into a buy, because I know that everything with EUR USD is a sale. But at one time on the hourly, watch this. One time on the hourly, it was a sale right here. It started way back here. It's still a sale. It's doing what we call a fake out, and then it's gonna drop back down. So right here, here's what I like to do. Whatever my hour chart says, I go to this last candle, and I have me a what? A red candle. Let me blow it up a little bit. I have a red candle. So I take my vertical line and I put it on this, right? Now, it's 8:07. I do this every hour on the hour. Every hour, especially around this time on Sundays. When the market opens at 5, it is not a good time to trade. So what did I tell you? Between 7 p.m. and what? 3 a.m., right? So I can look at this chart and I can say, okay, let me look at the 15-minute. Look where I drew my line at, and look what's happening, guys, right up under there. So I have a red candle on the hour, and I have a red candle on the 15-minute. I already know that this is a sale. Guess what? I'm already in this trade. I saw this before I jumped on the call tonight. I'm already in a sale on this trade. Why? Because I saw that the trend was an overall sale. Now let me give you a strategy to this. Do not get into this trade until you see below the second candle. I mean, before on the 50. Wait until the second candle. So this is the 8 o'clock candle. Let's wait for the 9 o'clock candle. That's why I told you I like to get in around 9 o'clock. Even though it may be 7, I start looking at the charts at 7 on Sundays. It really every day, to be honest with you. So I started looking at them. What I want to see is on the hour chart, really, I want to see that second candle turn red. Because on the hour chart, if my second candle is red, my 9 o'clock candle is red, my 15-minute candle is red, guess what? That's my sale. I caught it right here. It did a pullback, and it's coming back down. Okay? So I did a lot size that I know is good. So guess what? I don't mind the little pullback. Everything is going to pull back to the water. Even when it comes down here and you get in on a second candle, it's going to pull back towards the water. And then it's going to work its way and pull further from the water. And the further it is from the water, the more it's going. But guess what? we only want 10 to 20 pips. It's totally up to you which one you want to get. We only want 10 to 20 pips, right? So watch this. I can take my crosshair up here, take my crosshair. I got in here. That's 6 pips. I'm going to wait until I get my 10 or 20 pips, which is somewhere down here. That's my 10 pip. I'm a 10 pip and dipper. You got some people that do 20 pips and dip. Are we both wrong? No, it's your choice. It's totally up to you. But I can get my 10 pips. So guess what? I'm teaching you, even though I got in a little bit early, I'm teaching you, wait for that second candle. Even here, when we waited for, if we would have waited for the second candle, it's going to do a pullback. That's okay. But it's going to come right back down from the water. When it comes down past the water on the hour chart, your second candle on the hour is down here, guys. Check it on your 15-minute chart. If it's the same color as your hour, guys, get this trade. Get you 10 to 20 pips. Because even on the 4-hour and the daily, those are considered swing trades. So it's going to take a little while for those to happen. So even if a pullback happens on the daily or the 4-hour, and say it's going into a buy, if it's still in a sell on the hour, guys, we're in a good place. So basically, check your hour chart, do your top-down analysis, right? All the way from your daily, see your overall, and catch your 10 to 20 pips. Now, since I know that this is in a sale, guess what? I can catch this more than 20 pips if I want to, because why? I'm going in the direction of that trade. I'm going in the direction. I'm going in the sale of that trade. And when you saw me, I had all my markups done. Guess what? If I look at this, just by my eye, I can look and say, okay, I can catch this trade till about right here, because this is where price came down, hit, came down, hit, came down, hit, went way up here with the news, came down, hit. Even today, it dropped down here when it came, when there was a gap. So all it did now, it went back, filled that gap, and then I'm looking for price to come down even further. But all you need is 10 pips. 10 pips, get out the game. 20 pips, get out the game. You don't want to get caught up in these trades when they're doing all kinds of crazy stuff, because on Sundays and Mondays, I tell people all the time, unless you're given a trade through Tradera, check it based on the 50 EMA and get in based on that 50 EMA. Do not try to take trades on your own on a Sunday and Monday, because price is trying to find its settlement. It's trying to find a high of the day, and it's trying to find a low of the day, okay? So on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday are great days to trade, simply because the market has found its way of where it wants to settle at as far as the low of the day and the high of the day, and it's going to fluctuate between that high in the day and the low of the day, okay? So I don't want to get in a trade, and I also check my spreads. You make sure your spread is decent. If your spread is over 2 or 3 pips, if you're trying to catch 10 pips, then that means you got to catch 13 pips or 11 pips or 12 pips. That's why some people go 20, because they say, okay, out of that 20, I can at least get me 10. So you see on the 15-minute chart, look at what price is doing. It's going back above, right? So I know that it's doing a pullback right here, because the overall is what? A sale. So I don't mind getting in the small pullback, and then I'm coming down. But if when Tradera sends you a trade, guys, right here, if Tradera would have said that this, get in a sale right around this area right here, then I wait for the second candle to break past the 50 EMA. I would not have gotten in on that candle. I wouldn't have gotten in there. I would have waited to the second candle on the hour chart that falls below the 50 EMA if they would have told me to sell. So if they would have told me to sell while price was on that line, all I do is sit on my hands and wait. 80% of the time, the charts are in what we call consolidation. The other 20%, the charts are moving. But you have to have patience, and you have to sit on your hands, guys, because if you don't, then you're going to get stuck in trades that you don't want to get stuck in. So you wait for the second candle. When anytime they send you a trade, let's say they say sell EUR USD, market execution, or get into the trade instantly. The first thing I do, I've already done my top-down analysis, but I want to see where my hour chart is, because I really just want to kind of scout this. I'm not looking to do a 4-hour and a daily, which are what we call swing trades. I want to get in on this. I want to look at this hour chart, and I say, okay, it's in a sale. You know, everything's in a sale. I like this right here. It hit the second candle coming down. Watch this. If I get my crosshair and the second candle coming down, guys, look at this right here. If you want to catch 10 pips, your 10 pips wasn't even, your 10 pips is that first candle was part of your 10 pips. So that candle that you got in on, bam, 10 pips right then. Look at this. The second candle took you, 3/4 of the second candle took you to your 20 pips. And we're out of the game. Before any of this consolidation starts happening, this wick happens and it starts going all the way back down. Guys, it's so easy. It is so easy. So the rule of thumb is on the hour chart, wait for the second candle to pass below or above. If they put in a buy, wait for it to pass above. If it doesn't, skip that trade. If it does not meet your requirements, do not just jump in the trade, because there are sometimes that they are using algorithms. That means that they're using a machine. And the majority of the time, they got people sending out trades. But when you have a 70 to 75% win rate, guess what? Those guys can't stay up all night around the clock trading for us and sending us signals. So sometimes it will be put on an automation. So guess what? Here's the thing. What we want to do is we want to double check. So that way we can increase, because if they tell me a buy, I would lose on this trade and it would hit my stop loss up here where they tell me my stop, down here where they tell me my stop loss is, because price came down here. It didn't go into a buy. So it would hit my stop loss and went way down here, and then it finally goes up for a buy. So check that. Check your top-down analysis. That's the first thing. Your top-down analysis. Number one, check your top-down analysis, TDA. Number two, because we're scalping, you're going to look at the hour chart. You want your hour chart candle and your 15-minute candle to say the same thing. So if they say sell EURUSD, the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to have already done my top-down analysis. When this comes through, EURUSD sale, quickly I'm going to look on my 50 EMA, and I'm going to see on my daily and my 4-hour where we're at, and I'm going to do an hour and the 15-minute. Don't be so quick to jump in the trade, because you got, like I tell you, I wouldn't take that trade 20 minutes after, you know, once it's put in, 20 minutes after, I wouldn't get in that trade. Even especially if it's already hit your take profit, okay? If it's already hit the take profit one, don't jump in it. So I'll go down then to the hour, and I say, okay, I want my hour chart. I'll look at the second candle, and when I look at that second candle, guys, I'll put my little vertical line on it, and then I go down to my 15-minute chart, and I find my vertical line, okay? Now, my vertical line right here says, hey, wait, don't get in yet, right? Don't get in yet for the sale. Wait for this candle to come back below here and start selling. That's why you have to sit on your hands, because my hour and my 15-minute does not say the same thing. Does that make sense? Does anybody have any questions at all? Any questions? Any questions? Let's see. Period numbers represent. Okay, I'm lost there. MA. Oh, what do they represent? Okay, your moving average is basically saying where price is exponentially moving. And okay, gotcha. Where price is exponentially moving. And what it does is it follows price so many periods, like 50 periods or 50 candles. And so it's giving you that time frame or that time period to let you know that this is what price is doing within those 50 candles, okay? And so it's just your moving average to let you know where price is in relation to what's happening in the market, okay? So on the last 50 candles, it did this. The last candles previous to this, it did this. It's 50 good average. Well, that's what the banks use, so that's what I'm going to use. And I've been doing this for 3 years. So do you have something else? 10-4. All right. Cool. This is what the banks use, guys. I'm showing you what the banks use. I didn't just start trading today, I promise you. So I've been trading for over 3 years full time. And this is amazing, guys, because this is exactly what the banks use. Awesome. Wonderful instruction. What chart are you using? It's not TradingView. No, this is the this is actually the our MT4. This is actually our MT4 that I'm on. You can do the same thing on TradingView. Yeah, you can do the same thing on TradingView. I just do it on my MT4 because on TradingView, sometimes it can be, that's right, Scott, that's what I'm talking about. Sometimes on TradingView, guys, the numbers can be a little bit off. So if you're trying to catch 10 or 20 pips, sometimes on TradingView may have you 2 or 3 pips off. And so now you're like, okay, but I thought I got my 10 pips, but it only gave me 7. And so that's because TradingView might be a few pips off. And when you're trading, when you're scalping, those few pips mean everything. Those 10 pips, they mean everything. Those 30 pips, they mean everything. So you have to be, really careful on TradingView if you don't know what you're doing. Okay, so that's why I like to do it on my MT4. Okay, awesome. Any more questions?
Doc, this question may not be relevant, but I'm a new guy. What are we copying and pasting, going kind of backwards? I understand your charts; they look good.
Okay. Okay. So Tradera sends us out a trade periodically. Whenever the charts are moving, they'll send us out a trade to Telegram. So make sure you look in your back office. Go to your Tradera back office. Go to support, and under support, I think it is frequently asked questions. Yes. And there is a link there for the Telegram to get your those copy and paste trades. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
If it's not back there, because I know that we're working on support. If it's not back there, get with your upline, your senior business partner, and get the link from them.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Awesome. You got it. You got it. Any other questions? Any other questions? Any other questions? Awesome. Well, seems like everybody got it. I'm gonna put this training right here on my YouTube channel, and my YouTube channel is Dr. Shaun E. Carter. Dr. Shaun E. Carter. And I'll put that in the chat. So find my YouTube, and as soon as this downloads on my computer, I'll upload it to YouTube. So it should be ready within an hour, guys. Okay. So does everybody have that? So as we see, our trade is still going up. You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you all. Thank you all. As you can see, price is still kind of go up, but guess what? I'm not worried about that. It filled the gap. It's doing probably a fake out coming down, but it's in the overall, it's a sale. So I'm comfortable because I've done my top-down analysis, right? And I know that it's an overall sale, so I feel good about it. I know on the daily it's doing a little pullback. I'm okay with that. You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you all so much. Thank you all. You got it. Go to my YouTube channel, guys. I'm going to be make sure when you go to my YouTube channel, you subscribe and hit the little bell because that bell is going to tell you new notifications. I'm going to be I do not just trading with you guys, but I also during the day, when people hit me up and ask me a question about a trend line, or they ask me a question about support or resistance, I'll drop a quick video. Also, I'm going to be dropping some nuggets on some other things, and we got some great things coming up. So on Sundays, you want to make sure that you are on these trainings at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is not the only training that we're going to do. So I'm telling you, you guys, you don't miss some great stuff that we got coming. We got some great stuff coming. So definitely be on this call at 7 o'clock at 7 o'clock on Sundays. Okay. 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Listen, thank you all so much. Listen, that's it for me for tonight. And if you guys don't have any more questions, I'm done. All right. Thank you all so much. Have a great night. Finish enjoying your Mother's Day. Hug your mother. If your mother's not here, we pray blessings upon you. And, but definitely enjoy the rest of your evening. All right. Have a great night.
Thank you, Doc.
You got it.